There are some Australian plants that to me are just so iconic. You know, the plants that take you back to your childhood and remind you of coastal walks, picnics and hikes through the bush. And there's no better place to experience the very best of Australian plants than here at the Cranbourne Gardens. So I'm taking a stroll with the very knowledgeable manager of horticulture, John Arnott. Perhaps the most iconic plant has to be the eucalypt.
Oh, look, absolutely. There's eucalypts. They are ubiquitous in Australia. They occur in every state. I mean, it's such an important group that we've got a whole section of the Australian garden which is dedicated to displaying, knowing and growing the eucalyptus group.
And this one, the ironbark, I always think of my childhood when I see this. It grew locally where I grew up.
Again, highly iconic. It sort of captures the essence of the bush. And this garden here is dedicated to displaying a range of different ironbarks.
Just so much of our Australian flora is so unique.
And diverse. I mean, there's 24,000 species associated with the Australian flora. 90% of those occur nowhere else, so just in Australia. And, you know, there's these highly charismatic and very beautiful things like this tilapia here. There's about 5 species of tilapias that occur naturally up and down the east coast, but we're finding cultivars and forms that are turning up in people's gardens. Yeah. They're quite promiscuous, so the pollen will transfer from one to the other, and you can end up getting these wonderful-looking cultivated varieties. What a fantastic thing! I mean, this is a cultivar. It's a braidwood brilliance.
Now, this is a signature Australian plant.
The Kangaroo Paws. We've got Kangaroo Paws dotted all the way through the Australian garden. And they're a really important element of the Australian garden here at Cranbourne, to the point where in November we're going to place a real big focus on Kangaroo Paws through the Kangaroo Paw celebration, which is happening all through November, just talking about all things Kangaroo Paws.
For home gardeners, people can come to them.
There's a day which is specifically about getting some tips and tricks from some world-leading experts on Kangaroo Paws.
Have you got any tips for everyone at home on keeping these looking good?
Cut them back really hard just to keep them fresh.
Well, hopefully everyone will flock down here in November. So thanks so much for having us.
It's a pleasure.